Morning, friends. This video is meant for all of us, particularly those who are willing to have good spoken and written English. Friends, there is no denying the fact that language is the power. But we do realize that these days, most of the students, whether they're studying in colleges or they are studying in schools, or the people who are willing to speak good English, actually, they lack the confidence and ability to express themselves on a stage or in any conference or any intellectual meeting. The very simple reason is that they do not have the confidence and they do not have the knowledge and skill of using structural English. What I mean by structured English is the spoken English, written English, grammatical structure, functional structure that really helps us making sentences beautiful and using them in day to day spoken and written English. Friends, what happens that when we start speaking, the very first thing that we need is word, and then we need a structure. Say, for example, if we are in conversation with our friends who are also intellectuals, we have to make sentences appealing and impressive. For that reason, we need to have the knowledge of grammar. See, the knowledge of grammar basically begins with the knowledge of tenses. Most of us, ignore the basic concept of tenses, thinking that, well, we are able to speak English. But when you are speaking, your conversation must be having impact on the audience. It should have impression on the audience that you have the command on spoken and written English, and you have command on using good structures and good functional grammar. So today we are going to talk about basic, importance of tenses and how we can really make them vibrantly used in day-to-day spoken English. So the very first thing that we need is the sentence structure. Whenever we start speaking, let us say if we want to introduce ourselves, we have to begin the sentence with the pronoun I. So, well, I am X or I am Y and I belong to this city. I like this, I like that, or I have the fascination for this. So, whenever you create a sentence with a pronoun, the structure goes like subject plus verb plus subject plus complement. So when you start speaking, the very first thing that you have to understand that most of the conversation in English begins in simple present tense. And simple present tense, it's a very simple one. That is why it is called simple present tense. And it is only having the structure subject plus V1 oblique V5 plus subject plus complement. The question arises is what is V1? When we start using verb, it is go, then after go, went, gone. So V1 is go and V5 is goes. So V5, that is generally used with the singular third person. Like now in persons, we have first person I and we, second person you and you, third person he, she, it in singular, and any name Raman, Sohan, Rita, Gita, with all are singular, third person. But when we use they, it is plural. So now the formula is very simple: singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb. So when you are saying that, well, he often speaks in English. Now, why I have used he often speaks? Because he is third person singular and he speaks is way five singular verb. So singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb. So they often speak in Hindi. They often speak in Malayalam. Now, the same thing can be said in that, in passive form, that Malayalam is spoken in Kerala, Tamil is spoken in Tamil Nadu, Hindi is spoken in north belt of our country. So we are using it in passive form. So it is considered that Hindi is our national language. It is considered that English is one of the most used connective language in the world. It is the global language. So when we are using simple present tense, we have to take care that whenever we use the sentences with I or we, you and they and all plurals, we have to use V1. That is go, write, read, speak, not using S or ES. In the similar way, whenever we are asking questions in simple present, we have to use do or does. So where shall we use do? We shall use do with those, sentences where there is V1, and we should use does with those sentences where there is V5. Like he often writes in English. He often writes in good handwriting. Now, if you want to question, does he write in good handwriting? Now that there is a question mark, it is interrogative. Why I have used does? Because he is third person and we are using V5. So wherever there is V5, there will be does. Does he speak in English? Does he know how to drive a car? Does he really pay attention to his studies? Does a child really understand what is the importance of education? Does the government really pay attention to the poor people? Like that. And now with do the people, because it is people is plural, so we are using do the people really cope up with the challenges of life? Do we really understand the difficulties and challenges of life? Do we analyze our mistakes? Do we introspect our behavior? Like that. Now, same thing in negative will be there. Wherever there is V5, there will be, does plus not. So it doesn't matter for you what you like or what you dislike. It matters for you what you choose to do in life. It doesn't matter for you what you like to do. It do matter for people what they want to do. So they do not really understand the importance of their children's education. They do not really make a point what they are going to suggest for the country. They do not contribute anything to the nation. They often ignore the things. They do not really understand the importance of responsibility, like that. Now coming to the, that is in negative part. So in negative also we have subject plus do or does plus not plus v1 plus object. Now sometimes what happens, in order to beautify the sentences, we are going to use the structure is, isn't plus subject plus v1 plus subject plus complement plus question mark. Now isn't your responsibility to teach your children? Isn't your responsibility, like that? Isn't your duty to defend the nation, like that? So aren't you really serious about the job that you are doing? Aren't you aware of what is happening in the country, like that? Now, again, the question comes that when we are speaking, how can we really use simple present tense in different ways? Now, is the simple present tense can be used in different ways while you are delivering a speech, while you are, making a statement, while you are discussing. Like you can say that, well, I do understand what the country needs at this time. I do realize the challenges the country faces this time. I do understand what is the demand of the society these days. Most of us do understand and do realize the importance of education. So we are going to use simple present tense even in delivering a speech. Well, then you can start with the structure I plus am plus any other adjective. I am of the opinion that country is progressing. rapidly in economic terms. I do not think that this statement is right. I do think that this statement need to be corrected like that. So in order to beautify your spoken English, you have to use certain things. Like now in present tense only you can say that it is often said that what we do matters a lot. It is often considered how we behave is our character. It is often defined that character is the mirror of one's personality. It is often assumed that one's behavior is reflected in one's actions. See how beautiful these sentences are. So we can use or we can make use of simple present tense in day to day spoken English. In the next series, we'll talk about different, cases in which we will be using simple present tense. Thank you. Have a nice morning. This is Eddie Singh on the channel Easy English by Eddie Singh.